Okay, hi. Here we are again. It's landlord question time, specifically on the Tenant Fees Act 2019. I'm Heather.
And I'm James.
So, James, my next question.
Yeah.
If a tenant fails referencing, does this affect whether he gets his holding deposit back or not?
If the tenant fails referencing, as long as they haven't provided misleading information on their application form, then the whole deposit would have to be returned. It's only if they provide if misleading information that then transpires that they were effectively lying, the landlord could retain the whole deposit.
So let's take, for example, if a tenant has to supply their earnings.
Yes.
And he puts on his form, I earn 20,000, and actually he only earns £19,750, but perhaps he gets a few bonus payments during the year. Would that affect his holding deposit?
What I would be saying here is that what's really important is that when the landlord processes their tenant's application, the questions they're asking their tenant need to be in line with the questions their referencing firm are going to be asking them.
Good point.
So I would, rather than going into the specifics and saying is that going to be a problem or not, you need to make sure that the questions that you're asking mirror that, so you're very clear. So if on your application form you say what's your basic salary and what's your bonuses, and you split it out, and they answer that, correctly, but the referencing firm ask a different type of question on income, then actually there's going to be two different answers. That's not really fair on the tenant. They can only answer what they're given, or what the question is. So my advice is that you need to adapt your tenant application form to mirror your referencing firm.
And I think this is sort of where the slight difference is, because now tenants are being asked to put down a holding deposit.
Yes.
It's almost more, almost like a subject to contract more, isn't it? Rather than, oh yes, we'll see if this works, when the tenants were paying for their referencing, etc.
Yes, right.
It's far more going towards the actual tenancy, and it should actually speed things up, should it not?
Potentially, yes. It's all subject to third parties referencing, because you're waiting for the employers or the accountants or the previous landlord. So you've still got all the other cogs in the process. So
do you think it's more of a commitment from the part of the tenant if he's willing to put down a holding deposit then?
Yes, I think that's got to be the case, because if nobody has to put any commitment down, then they can just walk away and not return calls, and the landlord may have taken the property off the market and missed other viewings and other opportunities. So there has to be, this transaction is a two-way commitment and negotiation, and there has to be commitment on both sides. So likewise, if the tenant does put down a whole deposit, it is expected that the property does come off the market for a period of time that's agreed, so that both people have got exclusivity. So that's only fair.
Okay,
yeah.
I think that answers the question really well. Thank you.